That's what you said
This
last.
one is called The Pants.
Sounded good.
Take 8.
Well, then come up with another.
No, we'll go with that now because you dismissed the one that.
No, but you
was
said
taking the
that
joke.
last.
Thing
No, I
with
like it.
Daryl and Ed, the best-looking guys on the radio.
This is all the
We all
behind the
know
scenes
the funniest
stuff.
things happen when we stop taking ourselves too
For our
seriously
YouTube
and step
watchers.
out boldly, like Mr. Magoo blindly stepping
For
onto
A,
the
right?
next swinging
Or
girder
for
and
the?
falling into an outrageous jackpot. Your hosts,
right.
Daryl
Or
and
you could
Ed,
switch
ought
it.
to administer a refreshing
No,
this
dose
is
of
better this way
laughter
'cause
and
then you
love
don't expect
that
what
will
you're gonna
inspire
get.
you to step out boldly.
This is the
and
behind the
experience
scenes.
The funniest
Yes. Hello,
things.
YouTube people.
Now, here are your
There we go.
hosts, Daryl and Ed.
Welcome to Funniest Thing, where each week we share stories about how stepping out boldly always leads to better than expected outcomes.
Oh yeah.
I'm Daryl,
And I'm Ed.
and we're broadcasting live from Middle School Studios in downtown Culver City, the heart of Screenland.
That's right.
And today's episode is titled, and it was inspired by a fan.
That's
we must
right.
say that. The fan's name is Rachel Gallant.
Yes,
And it was inspired by her and the state in which she lives, which is New Hampshire.
that's right. Because she was sending us a lot of vanity plates on some of the presents, the gifts she was sending us had these little pictures of vanity plates, and on there was the New Hampshire state logo, and that's what gave us the idea for the title of today's show.
Which is Live Free or Die.
That's right. And that actually is the state motto for New Hampshire, correct? That's New Hampshire?
Yes, it is.
Yes, live free or die. At this very moment, God is arranging your affairs for your highest good. Freedom lovers Daryl and Ed have learned that expecting the best, regardless of what seems to come up against you, will always lead to better than expected outcomes. Unity Minister David McClure will join us during the second segment to read and discuss today's daily word, which is healing. And there's no better guest we could have on the air today to discuss healing than David McClure.
Yes, perfect timing.
I know, he actually was a big part of kicking off your healing back in Hawaii a long time ago.
That's right, 1986 at Unity of Hawaii, at the base of Diamond Head.
Right. So this show's all about the fact that if we're not living free and feeling good and feeling joyous and feeling inspiration, then if we're all backed up with fear, doubt, and worry, and it's like restricted, our energy gets restricted, and we get tempted to forget that at every moment God really is arranging our affairs for our highest good, or that is just to say life is always flowing in a positive direction, and flowing is really what this show is all about.
I mean, I wanted to share something else, but that kind of just, as you call it in the industry, dovetails perfectly into our three breaths.
That it does. So let's see here. Let's just take a breath to clear our mind. This is a really good affirmation
cleansing
to clear you out.
Yeah,
like when you need like a quick mental cleanse. All right, let's take a breath. Love is the tonic for a mental colonic.
Love is the tonic for a mental colonic.
Love is the tonic for a mental colonic.
That's just what I needed.
Yeah, man.
Amen.
Yes.
That was an encore by
that's- yeah,
the
you-
Unity Online Radio Angels that step in during every first segment of Funniest Thing to do that for
And that's
us.
how good it feels if you've been backed up and you get that clearance. Don't tell me you don't feel that good walking out of the bathroom.
Yeah, like I had to do before the show.
Yeah, or out of the chapel in your case.
Yes.
Earlier.
I was actually using the breaths, breathe in love, breathe out fear. Not that I
Yes.
was actually like chanting it. I was just saying it as I felt my lungs fill up mentally in my mind. Breathe in love, breathe out fear. And I got to
Yes.
tell you, I was feeling horrible mentally.
Yes.
I needed a mental colonic.
Yes.
And that's what we mean by live free or die, because there's no half measures. Either I am free and feeling great and alive, or even if I'm just, I think there's a Bulgarian saying, which is don't waste your time drowning in shallow water.
Right.
You know, because even if my mind just starts crawling around in little worries and fears, I feel half alive.
Yeah.
So we've been all this week imagining us with our heads up high. You know, we deserve to be here. We're free. We're here to be exalted. And when Ed shared that with me earlier, when you said that, we don't mean exalted like by everyone else giving us applause, but within our own minds, just to feel like you're here to be exalted. We're here to be alive and shining brightly.
Yeah, and not to be punished. That's what
Right.
brought up, because sometimes, like, things come up where we think that, you know, we may upset someone else or whatever. Something may, today's episode, the description said something about no matter what we come up against.
Yes.
You know? It can be within ourselves. There can be doubt or fear or worry, or it could come from someone else. And
Yes.
you know, and we've been mostly raised in a world that's like based on like punishment and reward. So it's like, you know, either we're getting the reward or we're being punished. And when the fear of that punishment comes up, oh man, it's so restrictive. And so the question is like whether I'm going in because I'm not always feeling totally free. But the question is, which one am I putting my faith in? You know, am I putting my faith in the freedom or in the death and the restriction and the punishment? Because in my understanding, in the mind of God, there is no punishment. That is a human construct that does not really have any like tooth, as Daryl says, on like the divine mind.
It's funny because when I was meditating earlier, I'm going, wait a minute. Love, like I am being me, meaning life. Like even I was thinking to myself, for some strange reason, even in the womb being formed.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, there's no thought of punishment and evolution and growth.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't even become to life.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all love. It's all expanding.
Right. But we get into the habit of cutting ourselves off.
Yes.
I get in the habit of cutting myself off when I feel unworthy or believe, you know, that I deserve to be punished in some way. Most of the time, and in fact all the time, it's for stuff that's just a misunderstanding of something that's natural and that's something that's healthy, really.
Well, it's also making sense in my mind because if we really think for a moment and relax in, like even me, about how much, wow, I'm alive.
Yes.
And it almost, I don't want to be too alive because then other people might get upset. You know what I mean? It's this horrible idea, this guilt of if I'm not suffering a little bit, it might piss other people off.
Well, you had the experience this week where someone in your family brought something up, like accused you of something, right? And it brought up the real deal. Because, we can't just, we may as well just talk about the real stuff that's been going on within us. And that, right? Someone accused you of, like, not being loving.
Touch. Yes.
You know? So it brought that, like that, as they say, triggered a bunch of stuff, like you were saying, about fears, about if you
must be bad.
If I stick my head out and do something too positive, I'm going to get punished, or people will.
I should keep my head down and just live a simple life and not really be too far out there.
Yeah, and it sucks. It's a terrible way to live. It is a terrible way to live because we have every moment we have so much to give to life, and when we're in the act of giving it, then we're truly alive. When I'm in the act of being excited, I work in schools, and like one of the things I do with my groups and just in my way of being with kids is just encourage them that they are okay. Their enthusiasm is okay. They may need to learn for their own sake how to direct it and how to guide it, but it's not against them. It's just so like they can avoid some of the, getting their head whacked by the whack-a-moles who get, don't want people to be too excited in the classroom because they want to have some kind of element of like control over the whole thing. But the truth is, if we really want to be successful and live the way I believe God intended us to live, we have to harness our enthusiasm and our creativity and let it flow.
And what are some? We got a good one from Emmett Fox on that. Actually, right on that topic.
Yeah, it's great. We got some great readings here. If you go to the DarylandEd.com, every reading will be on the script page for this week. Every week we put up a script page to go with the show that includes the readings. There's also a reading list there where you can purchase any of the books that we read from like Amazon or something like that. This one comes from Around a Year with Emmett Fox, and it was from yesterday, right?
2 days ago.
2 days ago? 14th. Oh, today's already the 16th, isn't it? Okay, and it said, this is just a little excerpt from September 14th. It says, the Bible often uses the word life, and always with the implication that it is the greatest of all blessings. Now, what is this life of which the Bible speaks? You experience life when you feel yourself to be free and useful and joyous and unconscious of either fear or doubt. So when the Bible promises life, it promises a life of joy and freedom.
Yes, and here's a good one from Joel Osteen, and a little booklet he puts out for free if you
Yes.
want to get it.
Yes.
You can go to his website, and it's called Growing in God's Favor, and this is it. It says, just stay in an attitude of faith, no matter what comes against you. Just keep declaring the favor of God. Then, before long, just like it did for the saints of old, that favor is going to show up and begin to turn your situation around.
You're not kidding. And it's so good. It's so good. And one of the reasons it's so good to have faith in this, what we call God, or you just have faith in life, like I was saying, or we were talking about earlier, there's no punishment. Like, there's no judgment, really. Like, life is never really judging. It's our own minds that come up with this stuff. And Raymond Charles Barker, in The Power of Decision, says, no power is sitting in judgment of any person. It says, in the older systems of thought, we eased our guilt load by believing that God would punish us later for our errors. Now we see that this is not so. All guilt is self-guilt. The Power of Decision. So, I mean, this one has been huge for me because my mind used to be so riddled with guilt, and it still is at times. But some of the things I think about is no one has ever benefited from me feeling guilty, because all that does is me restrict my flow even more. It's better for me to quickly look and see, okay, did I make a wrong turn or something and then just get on with it, but not punish myself. No. That does nothing. That doesn't add one iota to anyone else's life. And especially when I'm walking around my life now, this could be 30 years or 10 years or even a day or an hour after something has already passed. There's no reason, there's no benefit, universal benefit to me cutting off my gifts to the world because I'm punishing myself.
Well,
that makes no sense.
Three things. One thing is guilt tends to come up for most of us. And I know for myself, if I'm feeling really good, free from doubt, very enthusiastic about what's going on in my life, there's almost a little guy in my head,
right?
Like a little guy who's hiding in the corner,
yes,
and he gets panicked, and all of a sudden he'll come up to the front and go, "Oh yeah, I mean this is all great, but what about this?"
Right,
and then he'll remind me of some little reason why I should maybe be worrying, like why it's not a good idea to feel so good. And now here's the second time it comes up. When one guilty thought crops up, the problem with entertaining it, even for just a few seconds, which is, we're all doing this, it starts to attract other negative thoughts and memories and regrets and mistakes.
Yes.
The good news is, for me, I'm not saying it's easy to release these, and I'm not by any means saying it's not going to happen or you'll ever be free of it. But what helps me now, at least I know that that's what my mind is doing. That it's just attracting these thoughts, that I could keep business as usual. I was talking to Ed earlier, right? And I was telling him, that stuff's in my head. And he says, yep, well, you know what? I do business as usual. And I said, yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to do my walk. Right. And I'm going to act as if, just like Joel Osteen said, act as if I know this is going to pass.
Right.
And it does not feel like it's going to pass all the time.
But once that tide turns, it's
will.
Worth it. It's like waking. It really is like waking up from a dream.
Oh my God! And I got the perfect one here. When a person drowns himself in negative thinking, he's committing an unspeakable crime against himself. And that's all it is. And that's not to shame ourselves. That's by Maxwell Maltz, or to shame me. But it's to help me steer clear of it.
Yeah.
To know, wait a minute, I'm doing this to myself.
And we think not. I mean, it's a good point to point out, because for most of us, at least for me, for some reason, it's not okay really for me to take out stuff on other people. But I'm
Right.
really, in the past, it's been okay for me to beat myself up, or it's been okay to judge myself and say really nasty things about myself. And so,
Well, yeah,
it's important to realize that. I mean, really, our number one person to take care of is us, because when we do take care of ourselves, we're naturally loving to
To
others.
everybody else. 2 great books, if you're listening, I could recommend is one called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And another one is Goodbye to Guilt
Yes.
by Gerald G.
Jampolsky.
Jampolsky.
Yeah.
Outstanding books. They're on our reading list. And this is from Touchstones. This was just from 2 days ago as well. It's a great little way of putting it all together so we can see what our mind is doing when we're not living free.
Yeah, because it's easy to think we're just going to jump right into positive thinking, but this is a good tool for, like, because we really do have to ease our way into positive thinking when we're in a negative state.
Right. We can't just put the brakes on, expect to be instantaneously feeling great. It's
Otherwise,
gentle,
we'll end-
gentle,
Yeah.
gentle, and then eventually, Pam.
Because otherwise, we're going to end up beating ourselves up for not being positive. It just becomes one more thing to beat ourselves up over.
Did I just say Pam?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good, because then we don't let the guilt stick to us. I
That's
meant
right.
to say Bam. Okay, here it is. Some of us have said, if I expect the worst, I won't be disappointed. If I think the worst about myself, no one else can cut me down. It is like taking a driving trip and looking only for trash and garbage in the ditches, ignoring the beauty beyond. Indeed, what we see may be real, but it is a very limited piece of the picture. When we have relied on negative thinking, it feels risky to give it up. We cannot do it in one day. You can begin by imagining yourself with a more open attitude toward yourself in the world. Then we can try it out as an experiment in little ways with no commitment. Finally, we reached a point where we can take a risk and entrust our higher power with the outcome. I will experiment with hopeful and positive thoughts about what happens. And that's from Touchstones, September 14th.
And it is true. The more and more I practice this stuff, the less and less inclined I am to try to get in there and, like, too much to try to figure out why I'm feeling so negative. Because I spent a lot of time, and it was very helpful time, I guess, like trying to figure out where this fear was coming from and that fear was coming from. But I like the Touchstones because it says, over time, like where I am now, I'm beginning to just go, like I was telling you earlier, I go, oh, my this is like a first for me this morning, because I woke up feeling really good and really sure that my job is just to relax and let God flow through me and have a great day. And then this doubt came up while I was driving my son to work. I mean, just like, I don't know, whatever, my mood started to dip. And I just was able to say, because it was so compelling to believe it.
Oh.
And it was even more compelling to go, what happened to how good I was feeling? But instead of all that, I just go, my drama machine's going. It wants drama with everyone around me. This is amazing. And I just by calling it that, and it helped me just back off of it and relax and realize that it's nothing to be afraid of, because like you always say, it doesn't compare to the good that God is doing in our lives.
Yes.
Always.
The drama machine. Also this morning when I sat down after my walk to put on my clothes, I was still feeling like, is this
Yeah.
ever going to leave? I'm terrible.
Right.
But then the sane thought pops up, even though we'll discount it when we want to feel
Yeah.
bad. But it came and said, this is the only time right now. The
Yes.
past isn't even real.
Right.
Like it's a dream.
Right.
And I was like, it's true. Like I heard the healthier part of me goes, it's true. I just need to nurture my thoughts right now in this moment and
Yes.
look around me in this moment.
Yeah, because it's important to not just sit and wait until all your negativity goes away before you start your day.
No, you
because
can't.
Getting up and moving will actually help clear it, because little things will start happening, and that is a big part of this. Why we encourage everyone to not just hide from this stuff, but keep living life and being
Yes.
kind to others, and the doors will start
It
opening.
gets the flow. Meditation too.
Yeah, meditate and then
Oh.
get out there and live your day.
Good. We'll go to the break.
Okay, coming up next, we'll have Unity Minister David McClure joining us to read and discuss today's daily word, which is healing. So thank you for listening to Funniest Thing on Unity Online Radio.
This one is called the pants. Take 8.
You know what I want to share at the beginning? Just this 2
Who
seconds.
am I adding?
David McClure.
David McClure.
You know him?
When I was meditating, I was thinking of like Mr. French. And,
What's his Skype name?
Do we have a Skype name? I'll type it in.
Oh, yeah, I see something happening here.
go to my contacts up top.
Oh, wait. Is that him, Keytruda?
Yeah, that's it.
Hello, hello, hello.
There
Hey!
you go, loud and clear.
There he is. There he was.
There I am.
Here
All
we be. Here we be.
So, you know what I was thinking about when I was meditating earlier? 'Cause
Yeah.
I was feeling so crummy. I was thinking about that video with Mr. French and Enzo in my
Yeah.
mind. And then I go, wait a minute, that's why we have animals and stuff.
Yes.
Not so we could take care of them, but what happens is they start pulling the love, the
Yes.
clog, you know, that constipated negative,
Yes.
because the love can't help but to start flowing
That's
towards
right.
them.
That's right.
And then it starts flowing. I mean,
the
that's
key.
why little pets are great to have around.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
So, David, we're excited you're with us, and the word just happened to be healing, which is perfect.
Perfect it is.
Yes.
Speaking of healing, how's Donna's leg or foot or ankle or...
Well, it's in a state of healing. It's taking its time. She's got it in a boot kind of arrangement. She had it on the other foot several months ago, and then had a stress fracture in the other foot. So she's just changed sides, but she's laying up and taking care of herself while the process heals.
Oh,
good.
nice.
Yeah. One of those weird stress fractures that comes from just walking around.
Wow. Well,
But she's a trooper. She'll be back in action pretty shortly, I'm sure.
I miss her meditations that used to kick off every Unity service there in Waikiki.
Yeah. Donna, why don't you come here and just say hi to these guys? They're talking about you. She's hobbling down the hallway here. Just-
Oh, wait, we're coming back on the air. But Donna, stay put because we will talk to you on the air. Hang on.
Okay.
all right. We're coming back.
You're listening to Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed, the best looking guys on the radio. If you have a question or comment about today's show, or if you'd like to join in the discussion, friend us on Facebook at Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed, or email us at funniestthing@unityonlineradio.org. Now, back to Funniest Thing.
Welcome back. Live free or
Yes.
die.
Live
Oh,
free or die. The feeling of freedom and flowing is so good.
I like that. Live free or die.
Yeah.
Actually, our guest, David McClure, Reverend David McClure, I remember years ago said something that stuck in my head very similar.
What was
it had
that?
to do with being, feeling guilty about eating treats or
Yeah.
whatever. And he said, eat it or don't eat it, but get on with it.
Yeah.
And he talked about the mental thoughts that go
Yeah.
with eating are more hazardous than the
Yes.
actual food we eat.
Yeah, no kidding.
And
No kidding.
Before we introduce David, this is the time in which
Thank our listeners.
that's right, we have the best listeners in the business.
Yes, we do. And we
got
also
something
have something
special.
special. We just got our own P.O. Box for Funniest Thing,
That's
which is
it.
P.O. Box 1312, Culver City, California, 90232. Because from time to time, people send us stuff or...
They've been asking. We've
Yeah.
been getting the reason we actually inspired. We got to thank Linda Meadows.
Yes.
Who's inquired, as do many other fans. They're always asking us via email or on Facebook.
Or on daryled.com at
Yeah.
the contact form.
That's right. How do we get in touch with you by actually to send a real parcel post?
Yeah.
So we were doing it all different makeshift ways, and now we actually have the P.O. Box, and that'll be on our website as well.
Yes, yes, yes.
Also, our website, DarylAndEd.com, is another way to get in touch with us. And real quick, guest we had on here, Marine Corps veteran.
Michael Penny.
That's right. Fought in Afghanistan. He has a website called cigarsandseastories.com.
Yep.
It's a podcast, and this week I'm the guest on the show. It's already up. You can
I already
listen to
heard it. It's fantastic.
I'm afraid to listen to it. That's the one where I was in the Coast Guard, ladies and gentlemen, and we hit on that a little bit, and I was real, proud of myself to say, yeah, the Coast Guard's the oldest military service in the United States, and it was formed in, 1778 by Thomas Jefferson. And then it wasn't until an hour later I said, did I say Thomas Jefferson? It was George Washington, and I sounded all high and mighty about it. But you could hear that again on the air at Cigars and Sea Stories.
That's a great site. It's all about veterans bringing value to the world and sharing stories and sharing the love that they put forth for us as citizens of this country and the world.
And speaking of someone puts in a lot of love, he's listened to over 123 hours of Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed, and that's our chief audio engineer at Unity Online Radio, Jeff Comfort. Each week, he takes us
right into the comfort zone.
Yeah!
All right, now it's time for a shout out to the prayer line, which is Silent Unity at 800-NOW-PRAY, 800-669-7729. And Daryl is excited to share with you something that he's been going on and on about this week because it's awesome, which is what?
125 years. Silent Unity has been around for 125 years. And it's an amazing service. There's also the You Pray app.
Yes.
I used the You Pray app several times this week for my own little head and fears and for other people going through some health issues. It's a great service. They don't solicit anything from you other than if you would like, they'll send you a follow-up letter or email with an affirmation that goes along with your prayer, which they will be saying for 30 days.
We use it all the time.
Yes, we do. And also the Daily Word,
which has
been around for 90 years.
Incredible.
And I've been reading it since 1986. Mm-hmm. We love it because it's not just for little old ladies. And and you can actually get the Daily Word, subscribe at an extremely ridiculously low price through the Daryl and Ed website.
Yes.
They gave us, for all our fans, a very cheap and inexpensive starter subscription rate.
Yes.
And with that, speaking of cheap, wait, that didn't sound right.
Oh my goodness. Cheap dates. We got two for the price of one.
Yes, we
today.
did. We got not only Reverend David McClure, but also his wife Donna with us in the background there. How you guys doing?
Hi guys.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh man, we're fantastic. We're so grateful you're on the air. I was sitting here feeling bad because David was saying that you had kind of hobbled over to get on the air, and I'm glad that we finally got to you.
That's okay. It sounds great.
Was David nice enough to give you a chair?
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. That eases my mind. I thought you might be out over there silently cursing us. I hobbled all the way over here, and now I gotta stand it.
Well, I was just bragging about you, Donna. I'm Daryl. This is Daryl. To David, saying how much I miss your meditations before every service at the Unity of Hawaii there at Diamond Head. It was so nice to hear your voice. This was all new to me at the time. I was 23. I never really experienced any real church in my life at all up until that point, other than, dipping into a Catholic church once in a while, not understanding what they were saying. And then I sat in there and you were just saying all these kind things with that very peaceful music. And I was like, oh my God, this is incredible.
That's so cool.
Changed my life. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Daryl. I appreciate it so much. And of course, that's just getting in touch with that beautiful spirit within. And that's how we do it.
Yes.
It was wonderful. I never really felt that before. And the good news is, once you get a little touch of it,
Yeah.
that's it. You're sold. At least I was.
Yes, thank you.
I love that you just said that. That really anchored our whole show, which we took the New Hampshire State motto, which is live free or die. And we've been talking about that, making the choice to live in the freedom of spirit and God, and the different, either that or it's like we are feeling like we're dying because we feel restricted, and our life force doesn't flow the way it wants to. And when you just said that about, tapping into the spirit within, that's exactly, that feeling is just, that's it. That becomes the teacher of everything else. I feel that all this is all about.
Oh, it's wonderful. I'm so grateful I met you both. If no one has told you that you've changed someone's life for the better, and not even including all the people in my life who I've been able to be kind to as a result, I'm telling you today, thank you so much.
Oh, bless you, bless you.
Bless you, for sure.
And now the moment we've been waiting for.
Yeah. Shall we hear the daily word?
David?
Okay, here we go. Wednesday, September 16th, 2015. The word for today is healing. The affirmation is, the light of truth illumines my mind and body. I am whole and well. Like beautiful stained glass illumined by sunshine, I am aglow with the light of God. I gradually claim my innate wholeness. I may embrace a health regimen based on science, yet I can do even more than eat well, exercise, and hope for the best. Wellness also includes attention to my body, mind, and spirit. Today, I take a stand for my God-given health. When I notice any anxiety, worry, or fear creep into my mind, I shift my thinking to the healing power of God. With gratitude, I affirm, the light of God illumines my mind and body. I am whole and well. Nothing can take away my wholeness. I see it, feel it, and know it to be so. I am a radiant, healthy expression of God. And our scripture for today is from Luke 8:48. He said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace."
Can we move in with David and Donna maybe, and they could read to us like this on a regular basis?
You got a spare bed here. You can.
I actually felt so good after that. I don't even want to open my mouth. David, can you share your thoughts on this?
Well, the interesting thing is, with the stuff that's going on in my body, I've certainly embraced a health regimen, as it talks about, based on science, and much of what's keeping me alive is based on science. The drug that I'm taking that's working on my immune system to heal my cancer and bring me to a place of remission. But it talks about in here attention to the body, mind, and spirit today too. And the thing I've been recognizing is that when I'm thinking about my body, and I tend to get off on a negative, fearful picture of, the body, the cancer returning, or things getting worse, or feeling yucky again. I've learned just recently to say simply to myself, drop the story, drop the scenario, drop the tangent that you go on when you start picturing yourself unhealthy or sick or falling apart or even dying. Just drop it. It's only a story. It's only a scenario that the voice in your head is suggesting as a possible scenario for you, and you can tell your voice in the head to drop dead, and let go, because it's not true about you. And so paying attention after you've dropped the scenario, after you have dropped the story, all that's left is here and now. And that's when you can really pay attention to your body, to what's going on in it right now. You can praise it, you can encourage it, like Myrtle Fillmore used to do, talk to the cells of her body and remind them of their value and their worth and the spirit that's glowing in and through them. And so that is a shift for me in terms of not allowing the stories of what if this happens, or aren't you afraid that that's going to happen. These are all scenarios that we draw up in our thinking about the future, and it has no reality to it, no sense of being true about you. And so by simply dropping it, you're left with now, and now is where the healing is, always has been and always will.
I just recently, two things. I recently saw a quote, both Ed and I saw it somewhere, and it said, fear or faith, both are a choice of believing in something we can't see. Mm-hmm. So which one will you choose? And another is...
Was that posted by David McClure?
No, I think it was Kathy Quinn for some reason.
I see.
Although, David, you posted some great ones this week.
Yes.
And, of course, we forgot which ones that we were going to share on the show.
Right.
But another thing is, because sometimes I suffer from I had a neck injury and some other stuff happened. But anyway, I occasionally end up with some severe pain. And what I've realized is, when I'm laying there and I'm thinking the same thoughts you were sharing, David, I'm going, is this going to be forever? When's this going to end? What if it's something worse than what they think it is? I feel my pain increase.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
And so I know that now. So now I just go, God's love is flowing through me freely now. And as I start letting go of all those constricting thoughts.
Yes.
The pain diminishes. I mean, I can feel it as the thoughts are running through my mind. Because when you're in when the pain is acute, I become hyper aware. So I could feel how my thoughts are increasing at a degree or two, or it's subsiding a degree or two.
That's right.
So there is validity, physiologically.
Yes.
That the more positive thoughts are health affirming just in that respect alone.
Yes.
So just imagine what the cells are doing.
Yes.
As I'm thinking and releasing healthy thoughts.
Right.
Charles Fillmore wrote somewhere, I think in Jesus Christ Heals, which I enjoy, where he's referring to the words we use. Actually, every little cell goes out with that word, like his mission.
Yes.
Yeah. So if we're affirming vitality, each and every little cell is going out. Ooh, I'm vital. Yeah, I'm vitality. I want to... and when we're thinking the other thoughts, they're kind of getting sluggish and
they like to congregate with like-minded cells out there in the world.
Yes, birds of a feather.
That's what when you guys were talking too, it made me think. I was just listening to an Abraham recording, and they were talking about how following your bliss, and a lot of people say that, but and a lot of people what it's shine light on for me is oftentimes we think that means being in bliss all the time, but it's more like, where am I putting my faith? Am I leaning it back toward the bliss? Am I just, and it reminded me also of the story of Jesus that we were going to read a little bit, but I'll just paraphrase. I'm no theologian, but the story where he's going to people and saying, "Follow me," and one guy's saying, "Well, I got to bury my father first," and he's saying, "Let the dead bury the dead. You come with me.
You're alive."
And then the other guy goes, "Well, I got to do some things at my house first, and then I'll come with you." And Jesus is like, "Dude, you're not getting this. I'm telling you, follow me now." And when we follow, the bliss or Jesus or the now, when we prioritize that, then we're actually better able to be of service to others as well.
Yeah, that's almost like when that is so awesome because I never put the two together. It's like whenever I'm putting God first, all that miscellaneous stuff seems to fall into place and take care of itself, or it becomes very easy, more efficient in doing it, right?
Yeah.
But when
Yeah,
I'm
in terms
thinking,
of that,
go ahead.
Excuse me, I was thinking you were using Jesus' words, question, where is your faith? There's also that experience where he's in the boat and the water's getting wild and woolly, and he brings things to a peaceful solution, but he says to his disciples, where is your faith? Which is an interesting question. It isn't, why don't you have more faith? We all have all the faith we will ever have, but where are we putting it? Are we putting it in the problem, or are we putting it in the truth of who we are?
Yes. Oh, this is turning into a fantastic episode.
We didn't even know what this show was about until now, so thank you.
That's why we like having David on.
All we have to do is get to the guests, and then everything turns around because we realize what we're talking about.
Oh, it was so good having you both on. Thank you so much, Donna. We're praying for your restoration in both your legs so you can get to the...
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you'll be roller skating in no time.
Yes, get out there and enjoy life.
Good.
Yeah, so
thank you guys. We're right there with you, and we appreciate being invited to be on your show, and look forward to sometime in the future.
Oh,
absolutely.
Definitely. And I hope that Donna will be on with you next time, because having Donna here, really, it's just been a blessing. That I feel like the energy of the show just went through the roof today, and I'm really grateful.
Bless your heart.
Well, they were always...
You guys are a blessing.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, they were always a dynamic duo when they were when they were out there in Honolulu, and even in Dallas, because I used to get the tapes.
So inspiring. Okay.
Well,
go ahead.
We're still a dynamic duo, and
right.
we creep along a little
A
slower.
little older.
Well, you know what? I'm holding on to that 1986 version, so I'm actually sending all this vitality to you guys.
Plus, the slower version's good for us.
Yeah, the slower version is good for me and Ed.
Guys like Daryl and Ed, so thank you. All right, coming up next, what are we going to do next here? Coming up next, we have Joke of the Day, Listener Mailbag, and more. So thank you for listening to Funniest Thing on Unity Online Radio. Wow.
Thank you guys so much. Oh, they're gone. They hung up.
Oh, perfect.
Oh.
Perfect in that. A lot of guests like to stay and chat, and then we end up going into the next segment.
I got something we could read for our YouTubers.
Oh, good. Good.
Short little Emmett from today.
Oh, yeah. Daryl's got a good little reading he's going to share from the Emmett. The Locust Dinner.
No.
Which one?
Shorter.
Oh, this is a great one coming on the heels of what we just talked about.
Yes, because this goes hand in hand with what David was saying.
Rattle and hum, baby. Rattle and hum.
And this is for YouTube watchers, because we'll have to just mention that we read this during the break so our listeners on the air can dial back in and hear this. But it's from today, from around the year in Emmett Fox, with Emmett Fox. And it's built-in healing. The body cannot resist healing. It cannot even try to resist it. It cannot, so to speak, even want to resist it, because it is not intelligent. It is important to understand this fact when praying for your own healing or that of another, because otherwise, without realizing it, you are likely to enter on a mental struggle with the body to compel it to change, and of course, such a proceeding is quite useless and also fatiguing. It is your sincere belief about your body that it has to be changed from the false belief to the truth. Then thine health shall spring forth speedily, and thy righteousness shall go before thee. And that's from Isaiah 58:8. Once again, the body cannot resist healing. It cannot even try to resist it.
That's fantastic. Dude, you're going to read... I'll just read the wife, because since you love that, I'll read the wife. All right.
We now return to the funniest thing. Here are your hosts, Daryl and Ed, the best looking guys on the radio.
I think we're back, Ed.
Oh, live free or die.
That's right, because this is the, what's this called? Awakening World.
Oh, yes.
What are we known as on
The
the
voice
air?
of the awakening world.
We're the voice of the awakening.
Spiritual leaders.
Oh, I don't know how that got written in the script.
That's funny because I was laying in bed the other night going like, wow, we're spiritual leaders.
Shh, don't say it too loud or they might realize.
Dude.
Actually, what do you got?
We have. Why don't you read this first one? I'll read the Abraham after you read that because we
Oh,
got
Eric
two
Butterworth.
quickies.
Yes, and if you're listening on the podcast or at unityonlineradio.org or unityfm.fm, we suggest checking out our
Website,
That's right.
darylnet.com.
because we have a YouTube page.
Yep.
And on the script page, you'll see today's video in its entirety. And during the breaks, we read some good stuff that
Yeah.
we can't fit in the radio
That's
portion.
right.
So we jam it in during the break sometimes. So
All
we,
sorts of stuff happens.
we got
Makeup.
Oh, everything.
Readings.
Oh, Mr. French comes in.
Costume
and
changes.
Scolds us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to check out the YouTube versions
Okay.
of the show. This is from Eric Butterworth, Spiritual Economics, page 60. And it says, the wealth of the universe is behind you when you have the right spirit, when you see yourself in the right context, when you project the right image, not by rejecting what you are, but by celebrating your true I am-age. And it's
Yes.
spelled big I, big A-M, and then A-G-E, like image, your I am-age.
That which you claim for yourself, who
Yes.
you are, what you are.
And it says, within you right now is the possibility of success and achievement. You could bank on it.
Fantastic. And then from Abraham Hicks, we got a little quote today, I believe it was. So it was perfect.
Oh, that's
It said,
right. This came hot off the press.
It said, we want to speak about freedom. This is a vibrational universe. The only source that flows is the source of well-being. We are all free to allow that well-being to flow to us and through us, or we can pinch it off. It is our call every time.
And we're pinching it off when I'm thinking, or at least for myself. And you know what? I was very conscious of it today during my meditation. I could feel when I was starting to think those doubtful and guilty and punish, like I'm no good thoughts.
Yes.
I could feel the constriction.
Oh my God.
And
yeah.
then what helped me was I started thinking about our station manager, Mr. French.
Yeah.
It's our little Chewini here
Yeah.
at the studio. And I started thinking, I love Mr. French. And then it hit me. I go, that's why pets are so great. Not because it's good to have pets, because taking care of them takes care of you. No, what I discovered is having a cute little pet.
Yeah.
It starts to pull the love out of you.
Yeah, it's
It
real.
started to get the flow going.
Right.
After that thought, it really was the little priming the pump.
That's right.
And it got my love engine revving again.
It's awesome. When thoughts are really in alignment with God, with Source, with life, they feel good for us and the people we might be serving. Or, that's the key. They feel good. They're liberating. They release more energy. Like Daryl said to me earlier, I actually feel hungrier after I've been doing inspiring stuff, inspiring
talking,
work, because my
speaking,
energy's
inspiring
flowing.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just amazing.
Well, there's a great one from Louise Hay where she said the bottom line, the underlying problem of all of them is loving ourselves. Once we realize that it's just all about nurturing ourselves with
Yeah.
thoughts, kind thoughts towards ourselves, not setting boundaries, saying no, that's fine and all. But what she's really saying is just say to yourself, use your name, look in the mirror and say, I love you.
Yeah.
Because that's the magic wand that really causes the chain of events to improve in your life.
That's right. The greatest boundary you could create with other people is shining your light so bright, because
Yes.
people who are hanging on to darkness and stuff won't even come into that circle. Then you know what I mean? It just
Yes.
automatically dissipates and dissolves. And if people do come into your circle, they will be light and
They're the ones that
illuminated.
wanna
They'll be
lift
happy.
you up. They're
We
the
see it
lifters.
all the time.
Yes.
Even people that once seemed dark will come to us like
my
we're seeing
God.
them anew.
That's
it's
true.
amazing. All right, you have a good little story
Oh, my-
slash
Should I say
funny.
this on the air?
Yeah, why don't you share it?
Okay, this happened. Well, you mean Well, I was telling Ed the other night I was invited out for a night with the guys. Right?
Yes.
So I told Lori that I'd be home at midnight. I promised her.
Comfort might want to tune into this. It might be funny.
Yeah, Comfort. This is a true story. You might want to hear. So, well, the hours, of course, passed, and we have, way too many beers. And around 3 a.m., I was a bit loaded. I headed home. And just as I got the door open, the cuckoo clock in the hallway started up and cuckooed 3 times. So quickly, realizing Lori would probably wake up, I cuckooed another 9 times.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really proud of myself coming up with such a quick-witted solution in order to escape a possible, conflict. Because even when totally smashed, I knew 3 cuckoos plus 9 cuckoos totaled 12 cuckoos, midnight. Well, the next morning, when Lori woke up, she asked me what time I got in. And I told her midnight, and she didn't seem pissed off in the least.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, but I told you the story. You want to do her voice?
Yeah.
So it's funnier for the people
okay,
listening?
yeah.
Okay. So, but then she said, after I told her midnight,
She said, we need a new alarm. We need a new cuckoo clock.
and I asked her, why do we need a new cuckoo clock, Lori?
And she said, well, last night our clock cuckooed 3 times, then said, oh, shoot, cuckooed 4 more times, cleared its throat, cuckooed another 3 times, giggled, cuckooed twice more, and then tripped over the coffee table and farted. What's that we hear?
Gabby, the postal pitbull has arrived.
Oh my gosh.
We got lots of goodies. Just right off the top, I got this. It's actually a call, a bird call. It's from Unguided Custom Calls. It was sent to Funniest Thing here. Daryl
Fantastic.
Frizzell from Brian Knapp. He's a veteran.
Uh-huh.
And he actually, this is his company, creates these bird calls.
Yes.
And I was telling him, I go, bird calls, don't just market them to hunters. Because I let them know these are Lori's best friends. Like if you're a pet photographer, you just go with a real duck call.
Right.
And those dogs are looking right at you with a head tilt, their ears up. It's the magic weapon for pet photographers. And that's Unguided Custom Calls. Thank you, Brian.
And our P.O. Box, Funniest Thing, P.O. Box 1312, Culver City, California, 90232, where Daryl was blessed enough from a friend, Kirk Chelson. Where's he living nowadays?
He's in Essen, Germany.
Now, if you go online on the YouTube, you can see the picture he sent, which is the heel of a bread, and it looks somehow like Daryl's face.
How I looked this morning.
Yeah, it says, "Oh, my poor head. I've really done a number on it this time." And on the back it says, "Give your head a break. Let go and let God do it." Man, that is great mail and great advice from a great friend. So thank you, Kirk, on my behalf as well.
And we're going to post that on our script page. What else do we got in the mailbag, Ed?
Let's see.
Gabby, let's see.
Why don't you read that top one there?
Me? Okay, because Gabby's wagging her tail with this one. This is from Kate Flores in West Orange, New Jersey.
Yes.
She says, today I had a wonderful walk around the neighborhood while listening to Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed. So entertaining and positive. Thank you, Daryl and Ed, for taking the time each week to lift our spirits and give us tools to live a happier life. Well, thank you, Kate. Trust us. We're grateful to have you listening because doing this show lifts our spirits.
Right. And then we got a piece of mail here. Let me see. From Linda Meadows. I'm not sure where Linda's from. Do you know?
I'm not sure either.
Okay. And we'll read the first part just because we were thankful that she asked us this. Because of what she wrote, we were able to get a P.O. box and we were able to get a donate button on our DarylAndEd.com.
On our website.
It says, I'd love to contribute financially to your show, but she didn't see an address or anywhere to send anything. So thanks to her inquiring about that, we now have that donate button at DarylAndEd.com, and we have the P.O. box, which we mentioned. It says, I love your show so much and am blessed and uplifted each week. Please continue to share your actual real-life experiences as they really help with the daily life implementation of the teachings. You guys are the greatest. Thank you so much, Linda Meadows.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Christina Robaum, she also emailed us. She's from Oakland, California.
Yes, she is.
She said, it's Wednesday. I've got a good one for you. Her mind was racing with all the to-dos she had to do, so she was sitting in meditation, and then to quiet, and then she needed to get up and do, so she started silently chanting, "All that I seek is seeking me," over and over, without attachment to what or who she's seeking. When she got up from her meditation, she had an email from a peer. It says, introducing me to an online yoga video company who wants to shoot short 5-minute office yoga videos. I talked to her today, and she may want to bring me in as a marketing associate as well. Whoa! All because I stopped, accepted, and released in faith, courageously in faith, because that's definitely what it takes for me to sit still. Thanks for all the work, all the laughs and ease, making this stuff work in my life.
Yes, just a few minutes in meditation accomplishes more than 24 hours of busyness. You know those 3 breaths we did?
Yeah.
You know, love is the tonic for a mental colonic.
Yeah.
I got a feeling. What about you? Did you get a little feeling from that?
Well, speaking of feeling, when you follow your inspiration, remember yesterday we got our P.O. box 2 days ago because we were inspired and it was funny to do so.
And the donate button.
Yeah, but as soon as we got back from, because we were,
Oh my
I remember
God.
I even said aloud, I said, should we really invest the $51 for 6 months of a P.O. box? Well, we both agreed it was digging our ditch for future prosperity so that it could flow in. And then when we got back, what did we find?
And on the front porch of the house, Gabby was sitting there with a package from our fan,
Yeah.
Rachel, and it had a tithe in there and some other things
Yeah.
that actually reinforced that we were on the right track.
Perfectly paid for the P.O. box.
Yes, it was for
Amazing.
6 months.
When stuff like that happens, we said, what a feeling we've been believing that we can have it all. Now we're dancing for our lives. Take your passion, God makes it happen. Pictures come alive. Now we're dancing through our lives. Woo!
Visit DarylNet.com to find easy links to everything we do, including
David
the
and Donald
Funniest Thing
Sloan.
podcast on iTunes, our YouTube page, our Twitter feed, Daryl and Ed, and the Funniest Thing fan page on Facebook. Also, now we have the Funniest Thing P.O. Box 1312, Culver City, California 90232. But most of all, thank you for being a part of Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed on Unity Online Radio.
Pictures come alive, now we're dancing through our lives. Woo!
Cool.